Welcome to the secret hidden bunker in the Rocky Mountains in Dragon House Studios. I'm your hostess with the mostest, and this is Triggered, brought to you every week by Midway USA, just about everything for shooting, hunting, and the outdoors. And I don't know if you remember, but a few months back I said every so often I get surprised. Well, this is a surprise. I see you looking at it and you're going like, what's the surprise? It's a Benelli M4, right? Wrong. It is not a Benelli M4. You need a little background here. A few days ago, I got a call from a really good friend, Dave Biggers, who I've known for years and years and years, and he works for SDS Imports. And he goes, hey, Bain, I got a shotgun you need to see. I got a couple of guns, but the shotgun is going to blow you away. He goes, I'll send it to you. So I opened the box and I look at this and said, wow, that's a Benelli M4. And I called Dave and said, it's a Benelli M4. And he goes, no, it's not. It's a SULUN, S-U-L-U-N, Turkish shotgun, a Tac-12, Tac-12. SULUN in Turkey has been making shotguns since, I think, 1985. This is the latest iteration of a shotgun that they've been working on. And I said, boy, it looks like a Benelli M4, and I have some good experience with an M4. I've been to Benelli in Italy twice. I've shot a lot of M4s. I've sat down with the design engineers who actually put together the M4, so I've got a pretty good handle on that gun. So I asked them, I said, when you say it's kind of like an M4, what does kind of like an M4 mean? And they said, it's a 100% clone. Really? Let's take a look at the Tac-12. 18.5-inch chrome line barrel, adjustable peep sight, Picatinny rail for a red dot. It's 5+1 shots, which I believe is even standard on the M4 coming in the United States. You can take off this Buck Rogers thingy right here. You can just take it off and you can put a +2 extension on it. Or if you shop around, you can find Benelli M4 straight tubes, 7-round tubes, which you can replace on this gun. I shot it just because I had to see. One of the things about a Benelli M4 is it's fast. As you know, Benelli M4 adopted by the U.S. Marine Corps. It's a gas gun. It's got 2 gas pistons in it that run it. And it makes it amazingly forgiving for ammunition. One of the things about an M4 is it pretty much will feed or run whatever you dump in it, which is not always the case, of course, with a semi-auto shotgun. So we have dual pistons here, so I grabbed a handful of dove loads, Fiocchi dove loads. It's what my sweetie has used in her FN Special Police in 3-gun, so they're not like little loads. Ran the tube full and ran this gun. Boy, it's fast, which is what you would expect from something that is very similar to a Benelli M4. When I started looking at it really seriously, I really do believe it's pretty much an exact clone. Why is that important? Well, first, let me speak to Turkish shotguns, okay? As you know, Turkey has been making guns since there were guns. I've always been fascinated with the guns of the Ottoman Empire because the Ottoman Empire, which of course encompasses modern-day Turkey, was the first of the great movements, if you will, that was driven by the gun. It was the first gun empire. And in London, I've seen some of the classic guns of the Ottoman Empire. I've tried to get permission to see the guns in the Turkish museum, but in Istanbul, that didn't happen. But the advantage of a gun that is set up to take M4 accessories is that it takes M4 accessories, and there's a lot of them. For example, one of the few drawbacks on this gun, and one of the original M4, is this bolt release right here. It's small and it's hard to hit. Well, you can replace it with any one of a number M4 large reliefs, including I believe Taurus Tactical, the same one that John Wick used. When you look at this safety here, push button safety, there are a number of push button safeties that are larger, extended push button safeties, once again including Taurus Tactical. The M4 is one of the most accessorized shotguns in the world. And I'm going to tell you one more big feature when Triggered returns. Welcome back to Triggered, where we're talking about the SULUN Tac-12, imported by SDS Imports. And pretty soon I'll have a list of where this is going to be available. I will post it on michaelbain.tv. This one particularly, it comes with a set of chokes. It runs exactly the same Benelli mobile chokes as any of the Benellis do. And the thing that really sets this apart is its MSRP. Its MSRP is in the mid 600s. I have seen the generation before this going for as little as $5.99. When you think about what an M4 cost, which is a lot, certainly $1,000, $1,200, $1,500. I've seen them in this shortage as high as $3,000 on a place like Gunbroker. But I want to shoot this a lot because if this gun delivers the goods, it becomes pretty much an amazing choice for 3-gun for home defense, especially for home defense. I'm a fan of Turkish shotguns. You know, we've talked about the Armscor VR80 and the Armscor VR82. The people in Turkey know how to make shotguns. This one, it's really well finished. It's got a fixed stock here. I think if you shop around, you can find one of the adjustable stocks that's set up for the M4. I don't think they can be imported into the country because of restrictions, but there's a number of aftermarket parts that'll work. I'm going to put a red dot on it. I'm going to run it through my standard bucket of shotgun trash, that's empty boxes that had 3 rounds left in them. You toss it in a bucket, and you toss it in a bucket, and you toss it in a bucket. And you end up with everything from Russian buckshot, which is terrifyingly hot, all the way to Winchester Featherlight. So I'm looking forward to running all those through this gun. But as I said, the first rounds I put through it, it's quick. It runs really fast. It's a gas gun. It sucks up the recoil impulse. If this gun plays out the way I think this gun is going to play out, this would come under the heading of a screaming home run. Okay, from a big gun to a little gun that I really like. This is a Taurus 692. And a version of it is introduced in 2018 and shown in 2019. But notice how I forget 2020. Everybody wants to forget 2020. Certainly available now. And the neat thing about this gun, it's a 7-shot, 357 mid-size revolver. By mid-size, we're talking about like 35 ounces, which puts it kind of up there in the category of a trail gun, a holster gun. But it comes with a whole lot of really interesting accessories. The coolest of one is a 9mm cylinder. We're going to talk about that and show you in just a second. At its base, it is a very nice handling gun. Again, 7 shots. It's ported. So when we're talking about 357 out of a 3-inch barrel like this, the porting makes a difference, and a pretty substantial difference. The other thing that makes a big difference in this gun are these ribbed Taurus rubber grips. I've pretty much said repeatedly that Taurus makes the best rubber grips in the business. If you're carrying this gun as a trail gun in a holster, you have it by your bedside as a house gun, you want to be able to hang on to it, and you want to be able to mitigate the recoil that comes off of a defensive load in 357. This gun will do it. The other thing I really like about it is it has adjustable sights, which when you think about the versatility that we're going to be talking about here in this gun, it needs adjustable sights because there's going to be a pretty wide range of where your impact points are. It's got a black matte finish. You can get also a matte stainless finish. But let me show you the magic trick, okay? Here's the magic trick. We open it up, nothing in my hands. We push this button, the cylinder comes out. And then I'll show you when Triggered returns. This week's Triggered is brought to you by Midway USA. Just about everything for shooting, hunting, and the outdoors. Taurus USA. Designed to protect. Rock Island Armscor, solid as a rock. And Franklin Armory, making some of the most innovative guns in America. Welcome back to Triggered and Taurus's magic trick. Here's the trick. 9mm cylinder. Take it, put it here, push the same button, and you now have a 7-shot 9mm revolver. There's been a lot of dual caliber revolvers over the years. You see it more in single actions where you can pull a cylinder out by just pulling out the rod that it rides on. It's not that big a deal. But it's been a hard thing to do in double action revolvers. And to the best of my knowledge, this is the single best implemented version of this that I've ever seen. And there are a couple of other things that make this a really special gun. Let's pop this cylinder out here again. Put this guy back here. Look, Mom. So here's our 9mm cylinder, and you notice they're marked on the side, 9mm, 357 on the side. It's not fluted. I kind of like that. It adds a little weight, but you know what? It kind of looks cool. So with your 9mm, one of the things that I thought was really interesting, and this falls into the gun nerd category stuff, is you can fire this gun without moon clips. Comes with 3 moon clips, but you can fire it without moon clips. You'll notice the way that 9mm drops into that cylinder, and you can see this little bridge out here. The 9, unlike the 357, a 38 special, let's pull one of these out of here just to show you. Typical revolver cartridges headspace on their rim. The rim is what sets them in exactly the correct position in the cylinder and holds them in place. However, when you have a rimless cartridge like a 9mm, you got to do something to put it in place. So in this case, a 9mm head spaces on the case mouth. That's the front right here of the cartridge case. Isn't that cool? It looks like lipstick. It's Federal 150 grain match. But so when you drop this in here, the cartridge is head spacing on the case mouth. What that means is you can load 7 rounds of 9mm in here and fire it whether you have a moon clip or not. With a moon clip, though, everything gets magically easier. Moon clip. These moon clips are from TK Custom, who I think makes the best moon clips in the world. Got these guys here. One thing you're going to notice is that moon clips are more expensive than you ever think they are, so don't lose them. Don't step on them. Especially don't step on them. Once they're bent, they're gone. So with this, it's easy. Drop 7 rounds in, just like you would with a speed loader in 38 357, and then they all drop out. Then I saw an interesting thing at TK Custom, and I got to know, had to know. And he said at the shop, if you got the right type moon clip that was just exactly sized correctly, the 7-shot Taurus would also shoot 380. Huh. And as if by hand of the occult, you can actually load this with 380s. Well, you're saying, well, wait a minute, they're shorter than a 9mm, so what's it head spacing on? It's head spacing on the moon clip. We used to actually laugh about that when we shot 45s, old 1917 40 Smith & Wessons and Colts and 45 ACP. We'd say, hey, the cylinder's, bored completely through. We're head spacing on the moon clip. Now, you're probably saying at this point, well, so what? Let's think about this just a little from maybe a prepper's standpoint. You know, what we've been through in the last 16 to 18 months has been unlike anything we've ever seen. We've also seen an utterly profound ammunition shortage. So what you have here is a very good revolver that will shoot 357s and is heavy enough that it's not going to beat you to death, 38 specials, 9mm, and 380. So if you're just saying, I want to make sure I got a gun, I want to make sure that I have ammunition for a gun that you can change calibers on is a very compelling piece. And this is part of the Taurus tracker system. That is essentially a platform that they've had for years and years and years. It is what I would think of as a debugged platform. This particular gun, a little heavy on the double action trigger pull, 15, 16 pounds. I cap out at 15, and so that's what we'll say. But on the other hand, doesn't make that much difference. I think with this gun, with this grip, you're going to be able to shoot a really hot 357 Magnum without paying all that freight. And if you're talking about shooting a 38 Special Plus P as a self-defense cartridge, or you're talking about a 9mm self-defense cartridge. This is a sweetheart to shoot. I think this is an ideal gun for the person who maybe only has one revolver. You know, especially if you're in that prepper community, or you want a self-defense revolver, something you can keep by your bedside, but you don't want to go whole hog. This is the direction you need to go. Now, as with every Taurus, it's got a great value price on it. But this one is a special gun. So it's something you might want to take a look at. I'm Michael Bain. This is Triggered. As always, you can find us on michaelbain.tv. You can find us on YouTube. And when you go to YouTube, be sure to hit that great big red subscribe button. Next week, something really cool to show you. So you're definitely going to want to tune in.